So today I've got a review for you for the new Kino Lorber Blu-ray release of Secret Admirer. This is an 80s teen movie starring C. Thomas Howell, Kelly Preston, and Lori Loughlin. How's it going, friends? Welcome again to the Cobwebs channel where we dust off old movies. My name's Daniel, and I'm really excited to talk to you about this particular 80s teen comedy. I would consider myself a fan overall of the 80s teen comedy genre, and just 80s teen movies in general, whether they be comedies or slashers. But I find that when it comes to my taste in this particular genre, it tends to be a little bit more off the beaten path. You know, some of my favorites are Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage, The Sure Thing with John Cusack, Better Off Dead with John Cusack too. I must just be a John Cusack guy. And I'm not so much a fan of the established classics, especially like the John Hughes stuff. There's some good stuff to be had there, but I'm a fan of some of the stuff more like Secret Admirer. This is a movie that I actually saw fairly recently for the first time on Tubi, a free streaming service where you just have to watch a few ads. And I was such a fan of it and was very excited to learn that it was coming out to Blu-ray from Kino Lorber very soon after that, and it did just come out, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it today. Secret Admirer came out in 1985. It's directed by David Greenwalt, and it's 90 minutes long, and the plot follows C. Thomas Howell's character, a 16-year-old high school student who is in love with the beautiful prom queen, played by Kelly Preston, who's not in love with him back, and he receives an anonymous love letter that his friends convince him maybe it's from Kelly Preston, maybe she's secretly in love with him, and he tries to get a date with her. Meanwhile, he's got his best friend by his side, played by Lori Loughlin, who is helping him out along the way. But is she the one who's actually going to steal his heart in the end? I don't know. Look, it's a little bit of a cliched plot, but I think what makes this movie really special is, sure, the teen stuff with these three characters shown in the front is good. It's fun. But it's the stuff with the parents that I really love in this movie, because a little side plot going on is these love letters end up circulating around the characters' parents and cause a lot of pretty hilarious misunderstandings. Causes them to doubt if their spouse is having an affair, possibly consider having an affair, thinking somebody is in love with them and maybe they're not. And it's a teen comedy where the best stuff is between the parents. And how often can you say that? I mean, that's just such a rare thing. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the alternate cover art. One of the original posters, which has just got Kelly Preston's face right there. And how can you go wrong with Kelly Preston's face? Rest in peace, by the way. She was such a wonderful actress, by all accounts, a wonderful person, married to John Travolta for many years, up until her death. And she is just luminous in this movie. Like, Lori Loughlin plays the nerdy friend, which is ridiculous because she's Lori Loughlin. They don't even like bother to put her hair in a ponytail and give her glasses like that old cliche. It's just Lori Loughlin looking like she did on Full House. And it only kind of works because she's next to Kelly Preston, who's like a literal angel. So I really like them in this movie. C. Thomas Howell is fun as the protagonist. The parents, in particular, you've got a couple of actors, Fred Ward and Dee Wallace. Great to see them. Dee Wallace, of course, the mom in E.T., in Cujo, in so many great movies, and Fred Ward co-starring with Kevin Bacon in Tremors. Love both those actors. I feel like this movie has such a lack of mean-spiritedness. All the characters mean well, and there's no real villain to this. Even when you start to think there might be a villain, those people aren't even as bad as you think they are. It also has a real lack of stupid, overly raunchy jokes that are really just there for like immature teenage boys in the audience. I find that all the humor works really well coming from characters and coming from honest misunderstandings. I don't know if this sells the movie or not, but I just think it's a good-natured film that makes me feel good.
Yeah, that was the movie I saw. I love the power of Rod Steiger.
It's the best ever.
I just think this is a surprisingly fun 80s teen movie with a good script. It's really fun to track where these letters are going throughout the movie and just seeing what kind of misunderstandings can happen. You've also got Corey Haim in a small role as C. Thomas Howell's little brother. That's really fun to see. A couple of years before he would be in The Lost Boys, so he's a pretty little kid. Actually, this is the same year he would star in Silver Bullet, which is one of my favorite 80s Stephen King adaptations. As far as this particular release, looks great on Blu-ray. Absolutely no complaints with the transfer. It's got an audio commentary with the director, David Greenwalt, who didn't do a lot else other than this movie, but nice to hear from him here. Co-writer Jim Kof and associate producer Lynn Kof, and it's all moderated by historian and filmmaker Daniel Kramer. It's got a theatrical trailer for this movie, as well as for a lot of other movies, as Kino Lorber releases often do, and radio spots. Secret Admirer is now available on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber, and I can't recommend it enough. The release is good, but man, I just love this movie. If you're a fan at all of 80s teen movies, I think this is actually one of the best of them. Like, I will take this over most of the John Hughes stuff. I put this up with like Valley Girl and The Sure Thing. Like I said, those are some of my favorite 80s teen comedies. It's funny, it's fun, it's romantic. I think it's great. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the Cobwebs channel once again. If you like this, would appreciate a thumbs up. It does help out the channel, as well as a subscribe. We talk about a lot of old movies here. We talk about such old movies that Secret Admirer from 1985 is more modern than most of the stuff that we talk about. So if you enjoy looking back in the past of cinema, give us a subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.